For? Just tell me, was it good? Was it good? Was it good?
Yes.
She said to her husband that other man's D was good. I watched Indecent Proposal for the first time thanks to these lovely comments here. Wow. Oh my God. Let's get into it. First of all, Demi Moore with braces, cutest thing ever. I do think that 19 was a little too young to get married, but Woody Harrelson in this era, fine as hell. David, leaving your shoes on the kitchen table, I would have put your ass out. Now, David and Diana, y'all fucked on the kitchen floor. The love was clearly there. They just built their new home or started building it, and then the recession hit. I felt bad. Diana stealing those chocolates at the jewelry store. I said, baby, times are rough. When we meet John for the first time and we catch him watching Diana, I said, uh-oh. Diana, when John offered to buy you that dress, I would say that you did the right thing by leaving, but also he got money. David, I'm glad that the gambling did pay off because I was getting nervous. Whosever idea it was to play Sade's No Ordinary Love during the sex scene, please give them a raise. Thank you. But also, having sex and dirty ass money. David and Diana, why would y'all go back to continue gambling the following day? And then y'all end up losing most of your $25,000 that you just won for your house. Now, when John was gambling and he said to David, would you mind if I borrow your wife? John was wilding. John was wilding out. Can I borrow your wife? What? Now, David, John asked if you could lend him your wife. Why would you then lend your wife to a billionaire? Now, to me, Diana, she went and she was chilling with John and she got a taste. She got a taste of that lifestyle and I felt like she wanted some more. And I don't blame her. Now, David, when John sent your wife that big ass gift box to your hotel room, you should have taken your wife and ran. You should have got. So John offers David $1 million for one night with his wife. David, in this economy, wife, I will see you tomorrow night. Now, when John made this proposition, Diana, you tried to speak for your husband, David, by telling John to go to hell, but David was on mute. He didn't say no. And then David finally says, go to hell, but he ain't mean that shit. He ain't mean. Couldn't even sleep that night. He was thinking about that $1 million. Diana ends up telling David that she would do it for him so that they could get the money. But I'm like, girl, if you don't do it, if you don't do it. So they both end up agreeing to do it. They sign all types of contracts. They get lawyers involved. And then afterwards, once Diana goes off with John, David loses his shit in the hotel. Now, David, it is $1 million. Again, David is at the hotel losing his shit and he goes and he tries to find them. And then he sees that John is taking Diana away in a helicopter, bitch. So John takes Diana to this beautiful yacht and they are just talking. And John says to Diana, if you were mine, I would never share you. Now, bitch, John has game. Okay, it's not just money, but he got game too. I said, David, you in danger, girl. John and Diana end up fucking while on this yacht. We don't get to see it, so we don't know if she enjoyed it. The next day, she's back with David and they end up fucking. I'm like, girl, you busy. You are. So before receiving this $1 million, David and Diana, they were behind on all their payments when it came to the house that they were building. David is now mad because he found matches from the night that Diana was on the yacht. And so he's making a whole fuss. And I'm like, David, this is what you wanted. He saw that Diana had John's card, and then he ends up smacking the phone out of Diana's hand. All this because you found John's card? Diana then goes out of her way to try to please Dave. And I'm like, Diana, babe, he's being a child. Don't cater to that. His ego is bruised and he needs to deal with that shit. Because he asked for this. Now, John, I will say that you ain't shit for buying their property, the house that they were building. That was petty as hell. So, David, Diana tries to tell you that she met up with John, and then she tries to tell you why, and you end up throwing wine bottles. Just stop and listen. And then asking her if the sex was good. Why? To soothe your ego? David, you need to go to therapy. Now, bitch, when Diana said that the sex was good, she got that billionaire D. David is now losing his shit, banging on doors, his glasses falling off, looking ridiculous. But this is what you asked, David. Did you want her to lie to you and say that it was bad? And then you accuse her of being in love? David, this is what you wanted. You could say what you want, but John was smooth. He was consistent. While David was running around banging on doors with his glasses falling off, moping around. Now, when John took Diana to his big ass home and said to her that she is what's missing from this home, John then shows up to the classroom while Diana is teaching. I said John is a charmer with billions of dollars. And then after all of that, of course, Diana falls for him because Dave was acting like a little bitch. Dave then pops up on John and Diana in the rain one day, drunk as hell, swinging, falling in the rain, looking ridiculous. And I'm like, Dave, of course she's moved on. And Dave, when you were out there in the rain swinging and you fell on your face. So Diana and John, they are living their rich lives, happy, bidding on animal portraits and all. And then out of nowhere comes Dave. Dave is back on the scene and he outbids John. And so Diana and Dave talk, and then Dave talks about how he was afraid that Diana wanted John more than she wanted him, and that John isn't a better person than he is. He just has more money. And I'm like, well, yes. Dave then signs their divorce papers. So, girl, later that night, Diana and John are in the car, and John just starts going on about how Diana is the best from his millionaire club because they're the most sexually compatible. He even jokes with the driver about some of the women. We know Diana is not for that shit, so they kiss and part ways. John then admits to this whole thing being a lie, a scheme that Todd set up, saying that there is no millionaire club, but he made up this story because Diana would never look at him the way she looks at Dave. Diana then goes to the pier where Dave proposed to her. He's also there. They make up. I assume they live happily ever after. Here is my thing. I don't feel like I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. I do really love Dave opening up and talking to Diana and being vulnerable. I feel like he should have done that early on instead of acting like a little bitch. But he eventually came around to it. Had it been me, it might have been a little too late. It might have been a little too late. And I probably would have stayed with Mr. Charmer John. But I love that for Diana. I love that. And it was also a lot for John to really pay attention to the way Diana looked at Dave. And he was like, damn, she ain't never looked at me like that. So, John, I get it. I get it. You know, he really loved her. John really loved Diana. And he said, if she's not going to look at me the way she looks at him, she should just go be with that nigga. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this movie. I really enjoyed it.